You actually wanted to talk about something else, Tony, right? What time is it?
Right. It is now August. That means it's time for back to school season.
Oh, I hated knowing the back to school sales. Ooh, those always bring back some bad memories.
Oh yes, I know. Especially because at my job we have a whole aisle that's exclusive for back to school sale. And get people coming in there.
Yeah,
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, but why would
Non-stop.
they go to your store? Wouldn't your store be selling things a little bit more expensive than Walmart?
I don't know. Maybe because people live near the store. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Just convenience, I guess.
Yeah, because I remember it's summer vacation. You're watching TV, and all of a sudden you see that commercial. It's like I'm gonna use an example. Hey kids, get ready for the brand new Get to celebrate magic with the brand new Harry Potter back to school supplies, like the Gryffindor folder, the Slytherin calculator, the Hufflepuff notebook, and the Ravenclaw pen. Get your Harry Potter back to school supplies now at Target or a store near you. You hear that stuff?
It's the Slayer back to school season, complete with the alternative rock bundle.
Or it's let's see, it's the Metal Gear Solid back to school supplies with a Solid Snake folder, a Raiden calculator, a Merrill pen, and Liquid Snake calculator. Only exclusive at this price at a Target or Walmart or store near you.
And for you older kids, we have a Meryl Silverberg pinup shot that you can secretly hide in your binder for those really lonely days in the classroom.
Yeah. See, what do you mean there? So that you see that stuff all the time. In fact, if you want to get extreme here, back in 1999, Burger King had their kids club meals with the back to school supplies like the Nickelodeon Message Center, the Splat Calculator, the Rocket Pen, and full edition gooey apple green slime dipping sauce.
We had so many goddamn reminders that school's about to happen. Oh, you're gonna go back to school. You know it's August now, but so when you were in elementary school, when did school usually start for you?
Middle of August,
middle of August,
or near the end of August. Like 1 year we start on the 19th or the 21st or the 23rd of August or so.
I swear that in my state that the school years kept starting earlier and earlier and earlier. When I was in elementary school, we used to start our school year after Labor Day. So the beginning of September, maybe the first Thursday after Labor Day. So that could have been September 5th, 6th, or whatever. But then school would end maybe mid-June, second or third week of June. But then it just kept getting earlier and earlier. And then next thing I know, we're going to start the week before Labor Day. So we get a week of school in August, and then we get the 3-day weekend. And then I think my senior year in high school, I think we started the first or second week of August. So that was hell because, again, it's Southern California. It gets fucking hot in the summer. That's definitely not the time we want to be outside in our PE uniform.
Right, yeah. When I was in high school, we'd always start August 17th or August 16th. We get done the second week of June because of finals and everything in high school. But I remember But college, that was the best time to start school because more days off and stuff like that. But that's just go on top of there. But I just remember we had a week off because of an ice storm we had back in when I was in third grade, 1998, and so we
don't get ice storms in Southern California. Sorry.
Well, yeah, because this ice storm not part of it. We were off school for a whole week and stuff. It was like a vacation or so. But I remember
how's that really a vacation when you have the power off? You can't really enjoy your.
It wasn't
TV.
out. The power wasn't out all 5 days. That's why.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but I remember just but come to about the school thing. You always think, oh, this year is gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best. Then you realize it's not gonna be the best. You're just fucking with yourself and everything.
Well, that's what it felt like when summer began too. Like if we had the 2 months off in summer. The first weeks or so, you're like, yeah, this is awesome. No more school. Fuck school. Of course, we're an elementary school kids, so we're not saying fuck, but we're thinking it. But yeah, then a couple weeks later into summer, we're like, this is boring. It's not that I miss school, but I'm just trying to think of something to do.
Well, because you're a kid.
This was before the internet, so if our favorite show wasn't on TV, then I had to think of some toy to play with, and
Well, the thing is, summer and stuff. Just that, yeah, I know what you mean. You're ready to be done to school, and all of a sudden, yeah. Because I remember like when I was in 8th grade, it was different for me because we got out a week earlier. We had because of 8th grade graduation, so we got to have a longer summer vacation. But then after my class graduated, they changed that to where the law we had to have 180 days no matter what it was. So I feel sorry for those poor people who couldn't get an extra week of summer vacation. But heck, at least we got one.
That's all right.
I know,
that was obviously a long time ago. Now, there was always a silver lining when it came to back to school season. Whenever you knew that school was going to start, and for me, it's because that meant hockey season was starting. Are there any sports that in the fall that you enjoy, Tony? Do you like basketball? Do you like hockey? Do you like football?
Well, I did play basketball, and when I was in the fall time, from 5th grade to 8th grade and stuff, and I consider wrestling a fall sport as well because you end up starting the meets in the fall. So wrestling was also a fall sport as well.
There you go. So back to school meant, it's time to wrestle again. That's okay. And then, of course, at that time, we had the fall TV schedule. You'd have your favorite show and a new season happening. So it was like their way of softening the blow of, yep, you get to go back to school for another 9 more months and learn to do shit you'll never use in your adulthood, in hindsight.
Yeah, I know. Funny thing is, like, it doesn't feel like that school only lasts 9 months. It's just that because, like, you're going to school every day, it makes it seem like it's longer than that.
Yes, especially the months when you don't get any 3-day weekends or when you don't get any or holiday time off. Like November and December were usually awesome because I think I remember getting a week off for Thanksgiving, and then we got our 2 weeks off for Christmas. I remember crying New Year's Eve 1999 because everybody was all celebrating the beginning of the year 2000, and I remember just being so upset. And my grandmother just asked me, Anthony, what's wrong? Why are you crying right now? And I just said, I don't want to go back to school.
Yeah, wait, you started in the year 2000. You started school the day after New Year's?
Probably.
I did. We did that year. Because, like, it's actually funny now that you can think of it. I'm glad you brought Christmas break up. When I was a junior in high school, we only had, like, 12 days of Christmas break because of the scheduling and everything. So we only had, like, 12 or 13 days off. We didn't even have a whole 2 weeks off. And like,
well, we'd get the 2 weeks, but then then it would be the first Monday after New Year's. So if New Year's happened to be on a Sunday, guess what, motherfucker? You're starting January 2nd.
Yeah, because like, funny thing is, like, my senior year of high school, our first day back to school after Christmas break was on a Thursday.
That's great. What I wouldn't complain. Great. I don't have to come back on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Great. I'll start Thursday.
Yeah, but then a week after that, you had finals to deal with. It was my high school didn't have final exams before Christmas break. They did it after Christmas break.
Oh, so they trusted that you would study for finals over Christmas break?
I don't know what the heck that was about. But
when I was in 6th grade at one of the Christian schools I went to, I was assigned a research paper, a 1,000-word research paper over Christmas break.
Oh no!
And I was in 6th grade. One of the stupidest things ever. And again, we weren't even allowed to type it. We had to write it down in ink. So if you made a mistake on your paper, you were going to get, and you scratched off the mistake, obviously you would get points taken off because of lack of neatness. It was just, I don't know.
You couldn't use erasable pens?
You could, but erasable pens didn't really work that well for me. But again, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. But again, that was 6th grade. It was many years ago. But you obviously remember getting assigned shit or having to worry about shit during the break. When, come on, man, why couldn't we do this before the break so I can enjoy the time? Oh well.
Yeah, it was only after I graduated. The finals were before Christmas break. So that was actually better. Because then you're free whatever the rest of those 2 weeks and stuff. Yeah, I never found a purpose to final exams. They're just a waste of time. It's just busy work for the sake of busy work.
They have their for some people it's prepping them for college. Because then in college you do have to basically prepare yourself for a final exam. Otherwise, because the final exam would usually be most of your grade.
Yeah, I know. Like my communication law class. Oh man, that was a big it wasn't just to show the multiple choice. You had to do this like big ass answers like newspaper articles, so like how to answer it and stuff. That was a big part of the way. Now I'm shaking my ass. I was shaking.
Well, long time ago, right? Moved on.
Right.
So
yes.
now you only have to worry.
Wait.
You only have to worry about back to school season because of the job that you work at. For me, back to school season usually means the tourist season is winding down. So usually there's going to be less people visiting my place of work until maybe the holidays.
Yeah, because like the funny thing is when you mentioned back to school sales, when you are in college, it doesn't seem as stressful as it is when you're in middle school or high school.
Well, because in college you're doing it for certain classes and it's only going to be there for maybe like a 16-week class or whatever. For regular school prior, you're thinking about the whole fucking 9 months. So, oh God, I got to get this binder. I got to get this folder. I got to get these set of pens and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes you were given a list of things that they expected you to have or expected you to bring. Especially the private schools that I went to, they were definitely like that. And most of the time, the shit that you would buy in August, half of it you would never use. So then at the end of the school year, you'd have all these empty binders, empty notebooks that you never used.
And not only that, half the stuff you'd buy, like your notebooks or folders, they would break on you and stuff.
Oh yeah, because of repeated use, and sometimes they would get weakened. So then all of a sudden, those little clip rings wouldn't close all the way, and then your papers would fall out. And to go back to those days when the only thing we had to be stressed about was that shit, instead of bills and rent and current events and presidential administrations and inflation. Man, to go back and not have to worry about that shit.
Yeah, and not only that, I remember like back when we were at Office Depot when you're getting supplies, like my first year of high school, they had these like notebooks, like these 3 separate notebooks or so that you know, the ones that fit in the binder without the little spirals in them. You know which ones I'm talking about?
Yes.
Well, after a while, those things come apart. After opening them so much.
That's what we're saying. Those things stop closing all the way. They stop clamping, and then your papers fall out.
Yeah, I know. Like I remember, like you need. Of course, there are certain classes you need a 5-subject notebook, a 3-subject notebook, a 2-subject notebook. It's like, dear Lord, why can't you just keep it as one simple subject notebook?
I don't know. Maybe it was just a sham to get us to buy more school merchandise and whatever.
Yeah, and
nowadays,
and
thankfully, everything is typed on a laptop or typed on a tablet. Like, I don't know. I think the last time I did a college class, I don't know how many times I had to use a piece of paper. Like, I could pretty much do it. I could pretty much do it all on my laptop, which was awesome.
I used one of those little audio in college. I used one of those little audio recorders to like record the lectures and stuff. It was much easier. You just type it
exactly perfect. You could get there, and if you missed something, so. And I remember them. Did you remember them telling us in elementary school, Tony? Oh, you're never going to have a calculator on you at all times. Oh, you're never going to be able to just type things or have, like they insisted that the technology that we have now wasn't going to be available to us in 20 years.
Of course they said that, because they're trying to scare you.
Maybe it wasn't on the horizon then, who knows? But you remember being told in math class, oh, you're never going to have a calculator on you in class, or you shouldn't use one.
Yes. Oh, God. You know what that reminds me of, Anthony?
Yes.
The standardized tests that they give you in like the second month of the school year. Like it's a double-edged sword. Like when I was in high school, you had to pass what's called the California High School Exit Exam to prove that you were not a dumb fuck and could graduate from high school. Nowadays, they took that requirement away. I wish they did, because here's the thing: I never really understood why they did that stuff. Like it's just that.
Well, to show that you can read and write and do simple logic. But if you're dumbing down our education system and not requiring them to learn those basic principles that they need, whether they're in college or whether they're at work or whatever, yeah, it's dumbing it down. So I was not a fan when they said, oh, you don't have to take the high school exit exam anymore.
I would have been happy, because the whole thing
because you're a dumb fuck? Is that why?
No, because like it's stupid that you have to pass that in order to graduate and stuff.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with having to pass something to be able to graduate?
Because half the stuff you take on that, you're not gonna remember.
You are correct.
It's
right?
funny that like if you had a good if you failed that but had a good grade point average, you'd still would graduate and stuff as long as you kept up with your grades and everything.
I don't know. Okay, maybe that's different in Indiana, but
this was back in 2000, and this is back from 2003 to 2007. So that's different.
Right, I graduated in 2006, and it's a lot different in 2006 in California than in 2022.
My dad told me that the reason they had those is because people can cheat their whole life, and they want to see if you actually have been cheating or actually been learn all this stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
That's a fair thing to say too. I get it. There's a lot of shit that you don't need anymore, and I mean, you couldn't believe how many people have forgotten certain things that they learned in 5th grade whenever I talk to adults. So it makes these adults seem like they're a bunch of dumb fucks, but in reality it's just because they don't they don't use it in their everyday knowledge.
I guess one good thing about iSteps is that when you were in grade school, it meant no homework for a whole week.
There you go. That was a good silver lining. I agree. I did not like having to take the test. I thought the test was easy, though, when it came to the high school exit exam. So, and I thought that if you can't pass this exam, you're a dumb fuck.
Not in my eyes. I don't think anyone's a dumb fuck.
That's, well, again, different standards. I don't know how the Indiana standards were, but that's just how I thought about it. I understand taking away the cursive requirement. Remember how they insisted that we had to write in cursive, and we don't write in cursive anymore?
I loved writing in cursive. Writing cursive was fun. I loved that.
I did at the time, and then you run into professors like, can you just write that in print, please? I can't read in cursive.
I never had that. I had a teacher in high school who only had us write in cursive, and we couldn't use erasable pens. We had to use whiteout, and I hated that because I had never used whiteout, and I hated using whiteout.
Well, it's the same with the research paper I had to do when I was in 6th grade. So, but that's again going down memory lane. All the little things that we had to worry about back when we were in elementary, middle, and high school. And we're not even talking about the stressful situations like, oh my God, I didn't turn my homework on time. Uh-oh, my dad is going to kill me. Well, I haven't even talked about that. And that's okay.
Well, that's funny because like I actually remember like my brother he probably doesn't remember since when he was in 3rd grade. He had a science test and he accidentally put his science test in his folder and took it home.
Oops,
yeah. Like he didn't get in trouble for it, thankfully. Because I know my mom was worried that he would get in trouble because like you know what worry about it.
That's an honest. I think they would have seen that as an honest mistake. But
the only way he would have gotten in trouble was if he would have changed the answers. If he would have changed the answers instead of while at home, then yeah, he would have gotten in trouble. But he didn't do that. He just kept it the way it was.
That's all right. Well, you know what? We've had fun going down talking about Lollapalooza and a little bit of music and a little bit of the back-to-school season. But I think that's all the time we got today for this edition of Burgers and Fries. If you enjoy the podcast and you want to talk to us directly, because we do love engaging with our listeners, feel free to join our Discord server below, start sending us private messages, and you might become part of the podcast one day, as a guest, of course. I'm Desert Coyote 22.